Hello there everybody and welcome to the third episode of the Intercity HST's layout update. And what a change this has been. Now I do realise that the last episode I recorded of this was on the 2nd of July 2013. And so in that time I have progressed quite a lot with the layout, a lot of stuff has got done. And I thought that I'd finally get round to doing the third episode. Quite a drastic change is what has happened to the stock. It has massively increased. There have been a good few locos that I've picked up in a year's time. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to run through those now. To start off here, we have quite a few Lima locos. This particular one, Lima 31116 in the yellow and grey infrastructure livery. The next new model here is 73134. She is also Lima, but at the moment she is in need of some servicing. And also next to her, we got another Lima model in the rail freight sector, 33025. Next to that, we have another Class 60 to go alongside 60059, and this one here is what I think is either the chemicals or the metals colours, 60008. Class 47 range has improved by 2. This one here is a limited edition example of Freightliner Bulk, Freightliner 47114, and as you can see she's in the Freightliner / British Rail green. And next to her we have 47803, and she is in the now defunct infrastructure livery, and she does also come with transfers, although I haven't got around to applying them yet. And since then, I've also picked up 3 Class 50s. The first one here is 50015 Valiant in the Dutch livery. 50007 Sir Edward Elgar in the British Rail green livery. And since then, I have also put on the yellow axle boxes, painted the wheel rims, and also given her white buffers. And after that, we have quite a rare model. You don't see too many of these. Thunderer 50008 in Lyra Blue. Now I saw this in Hatton's, £30, and I was reading on Wikipedia that when they came out they were £33, and in a few weeks again over £100. I don't know whether that's true or not, but when I saw this on Hatton's I just had to buy it, and so it makes a wonderful part of the collection. Next to her I've got my very first Bachmann Class 37, and it is 37506. Before she got named in obviously the Rail Freight Red Stripe livery, and I have also put the detailing on the front end. Next to that is probably one of the best things I've got in my fleet so far, 57604 Pendennis Castle, and just look at this. This is one absolutely brilliant model, pointed out by Swift11 Productions for me on eBay, and I'm not going to tell you how much I got it for, but it was quite a fair amount of money, but it was definitely worth it in the end, and it makes an absolutely brilliant part of the fleet. The only thing now is I'm waiting for Hornby to bring out their new Night Riviera coaches, so I at least have something to run with it. Next to that, another Lima loco, Class 66, 66504, obviously before she got repainted in the Powerhaul livery, and she is also a limited edition of what I believe is 750. Over here, some more of the 37 fleet. We have here 37428 in the Royal Claret livery, or EWS livery. Quite a nice model, also a limited edition. And next to her, we have a Load Haul 37713. There's also got another Class 20 added to the fleet. This particular one, from Hatton's second-hand range as well, is 20188. Or what I believe is number D8118, and she is in the Waterman Railways black, and I believe that she is now preserved on the Severn Valley Railway. Next to her is one absolutely lovely model, and this arrived just yesterday, DRS 33207, and I bought this yesterday from Rails of Sheffield, and just look at that, it's an absolutely brilliant model. You don't see too many of the Lima locos in DRS livery, so I got it while I could, and it runs absolutely brilliantly. And so the next loco that I've acquired is this one. A Hornby Class 37, 37063 in the Rail Freight Red Stripe livery. Quite nice, although definitely no match for the Bachmann version over there. I have also picked up a Class 58 in the Coal Sector livery, 58025. And this one here is actually a Joeth Class 40. It isn't numbered, and it doesn't even come with the British Rail logo on it. But what I have noticed is that the motor is completely non-standard. It's nothing like anything I've seen before, but she is also missing the tyres, and she does really require them to run. She can barely haul about a 2-car train, so it is quite a poor motor. So definitely will have to be put into service and be given a full refurbishment. This next loco here, I actually got this a while ago when doing a valuation for somebody on a bunch of Hornby locos that they'd invested in. I bought this off him. It's numbered D6110 and apparently is on 1Z90, and this is a Class 29. You don't see too many of them. They're fairly common, but not in this particular livery or in this condition. This is pretty much mint in box, and so I'm quite pleased to have this in the collection. Over here I have improved my AC Electrics fleet by a certain amount of locos. The first one here, and this is absolutely brilliant, this Lima 87006 George Reynolds in the Virgin Trains livery. I've also detailed her on the front, and she does also have the weathered chassis, which I've done myself. It does look, to me, looks quite pink on the camera, and that's because I've got the light on down there. But she does look quite accurate in terms of delivery, and is a wonderful model. And next to her, there's another Class 87, 87005, City of London, and I bought this when I was at Carlisle Kingmore Open Day, the DRS Open Day. This particular motor does need a little bit of refurbishing before I can get it to run again, and also we'll probably need to have the pantograph replaced and also the front end detailed. But other than that, still quite a nice loco. This particular loco here, the 86, CIT 75th anniversary, is actually a body shell that I swapped over from the model of Halley's Comet, which I believe was 86504 that I showed in the last layout update. I had this lying around spare, and I do believe that it's a limited edition model. So what I did, I just swapped the body shells over, and I'm now looking out for another chassis that I can permanently attach with this loco. There's also the 90131, and next to her is quite a nice model, which also happens second hand, is this 90005 in the 1 Anglia livery, and she's named Vice Admiral Lord Nelson. Now I kind of got this at the wrong time, because what I do believe is that she's been repainted in white and grey, so quite an inaccurate livery now, but still nice. And she does also go with the matching DVT. In terms of units, I have actually picked up a Class 158, and she is in the Express livery, or the ScotRail livery, and it's actually quite a nice one. I picked it up for about £32, which is actually quite good considering what these locos are. I've seen them go for up to £60, and it was actually quite cheap because they're actually two different units. This is number 158702, but the dummy unit is actually numbered 158809. And also it did actually come with a broken coupler on the back. The NEM socket was pretty much hanging on by a thread, and so I had to replace that. But for £32, certainly not bad at all. Since then I've also picked up a Class 150. I'm not going to be able to lift up, but it is Class 150 144, and she's in the First North Western livery. Over here, though, is what was one of my main Christmas presents, is this, a Chiltern Clubman Class 168 unit, and this is one absolutely brilliant model, bought from the Triang Man, and just look at this, 3-car set, as it should be, and it was practically mint. The condition is near perfect, and it runs absolutely brilliantly. Since then I have also picked up 2 more coaches for the HST set, and there, as you can see, is a Midland Mainline HST, and the 4 coaches that come with it. I forgot to show is this. It's actually the Virgin HSC set, and I picked this up as a full set for £35. Now, it isn't actually too bad. Obviously this is the dummy unit, 43093, which is Lady in Red, and she comes with the power car, which is currently being upgraded, and also with 2 coaches, so definitely not bad at all. And so now to show off some of the steam locos which I've bought, and we started off with this. It's a Triang Railways 4F, as you can see there, number 3775, and I actually bought this off a fellow YouTuber. You may know him under the name as Chams123 or John, and I was looking out for one of these and he sold me his. It's in absolutely wonderful condition and it runs really quite well for a Triang loco, which is about 44 years old. It's really not bad at all, and plus he also fitted the fireman inside the cab. Forgot to put this in the video last time, but it's this Triang R155 switcher, and just look at this. This is one absolutely beautiful condition, original Triang loco, and she is the later one. She's numbered 7005, and it's in pretty much mint condition, apart from having a bit of paint chips on the cow catchers. Another it's pretty much steam loco. It's another Triang one, and it's this Triang 123 Caledonian single. Quite a nice model, picked up for about £36, still in its box. It's a bit tattered and worn out, but other than, it's not actually too bad. It does still run, but it does need a bit of refurbishment just to get up to the standards that it really needs to be. Now here we have a Ginty which I've picked up. It's the Great Northern Southern Railway, I believe. I'm not too sure, but it's supposed to resemble the pannier tank in The Railway Children, and Triang actually released this loco as part of a Railway Children set, and I bought this on its own, the loco on its own, without the coaches. But it does need quite a bit of work to it. The body has came away from the chassis, and so that will need to be fixed in time. And I've also got some more additions to the little 040 fleet over here, and I picked up this because it was absolutely god-awful. Number 34, and it's named Terry, but just look at this. It's absolutely terrible, but I got it for £3 and it was still in the box, and so I bought it anyway. I thought I might be able to repaint it or do something with it, but I'd kinda prefer to leave it in its original state, purely because it's so outrageous. And the other one of those, I've also picked up this one, Sentinel number 23, same type, a Great Western Holden 101 tank. I think I got this for £6. It does still need the buffer in the front there, but other than that, it's still quite a nice little loco. So now we can move on to what has actually happened on the layout, and this is the area that I'm particularly proud of. It's a joint bus and tram depot together, and I am actually quite pleased with how this has turned out. So I did actually want a tram line running down the town, which I am in the process of building, albeit not particularly professional. And I was intending to get the Birkenhead trams that Bachmann produced to run along here, but I realised that I wouldn't really want it to be electrified, and so I'd make do with the kit-built trams and also the Corgi trams of 1/64 scale that I got for last Christmas. But since then I improved a bit on this area of the layout, and there's been quite a bit of stuff added. I used some of the wall off the old layout what I had laying over spare, and also still had the graffiti tags along the side, so I've left them intact. This here added a bit of greenery, which is also home to the little Bachmann Gandhi dancer, just kind of sits in the corner there. And I've also added the water tower, which is backing on to the fire station. So obviously the idea is that the fire trucks get refueled here and get refilled full of water before they go out. And also I've put a little skipper there, and I've started doing the parking spaces here. Now to get over there, I've also added a small crossing, and I've also added the signal, and I've done the track work coming in here for the trams to come in and go out again. I'm currently adding in the catenary. There are still a few catenary masts missing, and I've got to get a fair few more to be able to do along the whole town there. I have also finally got round to adding the bus depot there, another model from the Hornby Scaledale range, and with Christmas lights that I had left over, I was able to put some of them, sellotape them inside, and actually put the lights on. If I can get them on, there we go. Not particularly the most realistic, but it will actually do. So when all the lights are turned off, it doesn't look too bad at all. I have also picked up a fair few model buses to go along with it, and I have also done more of the car parks here, and it does generally get the feel of a bus depot. I am genuinely pleased with how it's turned out. So next to that, obviously, we have the fire station, and this is currently the main part of the town where there's the houses and the shops which build up to the train station. So there we've got some pre-built Metcalfe houses that I also bought second-hand from Model Train Fair, along with the newsagents there and also the greengrocers. Next to that, there I have also got the what I believe is the estate agents, and the road would eventually curve around here and go over the level crossing. Over here, I've got a pair of hotels combined together, and this here is actually the small Metcalfe antique shop. This here, you'll have to excuse the ballast all over the place because Swift 11 Productions happened to accidentally spill ballast all over it. I haven't got around to tidying it up. It's supposed to be the little memorial there, but it will need quite a bit of tidying up. So that building there, if I just walk around the layout now, is actually the post office. Another pre-built model which I got second hand, and next to that is the King's Head pub. That came off the old layout, which I originally put on there, and next to that we have also got what I believe is like a picture frame shop. So that goes on the end. It is still missing the chimney, but that's somewhere amongst the mountain of boxes and other things down the back of the layout. So here next to the level crossing, which I have actually replaced the gates for more modern ones, so it's more prototypical, because I am trying to go a bit more modern image with the layout now. And I've put in a police station here. I've tidied it up a bit. It was quite tatty when I first got it. It does need the window replacing in the front here, as it's just small sheets of perspex that's been glued in there. So that will eventually need to be replaced, and the Husky garages I use the idea for either storage of the police cars or stolen vehicles that have been seized by the police and have to be put in storage. So I've put those there, and round the back there's a bit of scrap and things along the line side. And over here the miniature railway hasn't really changed much since last time. I might have added a bit more greenery to it, but that's about the bare minimum. This here is an area which I am particularly pleased with. I finally got around to doing the church scene. This was also another thing that was on the old layout, which I've reused for this layout. And so I've redone the pathway going off here. There is going to be a walkway along here. And I also picked up some Hornby trees. Some very, very early ones, and I got about 2 packs of them. And they look generally realistic. Pretty much these trees are just made up of this stuff here, and you can buy this, absolutely loads of it from model shops. And so Hornby had the idea of just get a load of those and put them onto a plastic tree trunk, and it does actually look quite realistic. They do certainly match the ones that I've used shrubbery along here. And I've also put in some of the little Hornby gravestones there. There are due to be more to be put around the back, and I have also put in some of the white fencing and also the brick wall which goes along the back there. So the final thing that I've pretty much done is some work on the station. I have had absolute hell with this point being here, and it has just been an absolute pain to try and rectify trains to run over this properly. This inner line was originally intended for small freight trains, and the outside loop was intended for more passenger trains. But since I've bought a fair few diesel multiple units and I've wanted to run bigger and longer trains on the inner loop, this point has been absolutely playing havoc, and as you can still see, it is broken as well. And so usually you can find that blue tacked or glued in place just to stop it from breaking apart. But other than that, the station has had quite a change. First thing what I added, I extended the other platform, and I've also added there a little triangle signal box. And also I've also picked this up. It's a original Triang footbridge. I picked this up second hand, and it's still got the paintings on it, albeit a bit scratched. And it was kind of a homemade bodge job. As this side here, as you can see, it's all meant to be steel girder. On this side here, it's part of the fence, and it's snapped off. And so I got them all the bits for it free, so I suppose I can't really complain. And I also got these little steps here. There's going to be a car park around the back here, so the idea is that the passengers will pull up in their car, will either go into the station building and come out here on platform 1, which is usually redundant and is not in use, despite the amount of figures on there, or they will either park up the car, walk over the footbridge and onto this side of the platform, and will either go into the train from this side or this side and then pay on the train, which is kind of the idea that I'm having to go with. But other than that, there are still a few station facilities, such as the either the waiting room or the toilets at the end there. There's a fair few figures and bike racks, and also the main station building. There's also a small bike rack there, some of the plants there, and then also a small movie poster. On this platform here, on platforms 2 to 3, we have another Triang kiosk with bits of detailing around the far ends. We've got another small cardboard little waiting room there with platform 2 on it. And since then there's been a few figures and things added. There's a W.H. Smith's little newsagent stand, and then is the waiting room from the Harry Potter train set. And ultimately I've added some figures along there just to liven it up a bit and make it more realistic. Around the back here, I forgot to mention, I've added a signal, the coal stage, a whistle sign, the gradient sign, and also some trees and the wall, so these houses have actually got a garden. So that there kind of concludes my layout update for 2014 so far. And so if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to do a few shout outs. So a few of my friends, as following goes: Northeast Steam, South Witch, Swifty 11 Productions, Hornby and BF3 Fan, 221 Virgin Voyager, and BR Man 101. Also, I am now a moderator on the Swifty 11 Productions forum, and so if you'd like to join for all things railway related, go to www.swifty11productions.f1p.co.uk. So come on the forum and you can have a chat to us about all things railway related. So thank you for watching. See you next time.